So excited to be here. It is the last video, the last live video for this year. Yeah. If you're a member of the Thriveroo Community, we still got group calls, so don't worry. We got calls all week long. But it's the last video. I can't believe this year has just gone. And I want to talk about an important topic today that sets us up, hopefully, or create a little shift for the new year for ourselves. That how can we rewire? I can't even say it. How can we rewire that part of our brain that constantly rehashes all the negative stuff? Okay? And especially when we're looking back at what's been happening this year, that part of our brain was just, oh, you should have done this, oh, you didn't do that, and this wasn't good enough, and you're just such a loser, you're a failure, you're just too broken. You know, that part that makes us feel really miserable. Or for me, I know, if you have a part, I used to have a part like this, let me know if you had one like this too. And I just felt so broken and so flawed and so different than everyone else. Everyone else seemed to do okay. It was just me who always got everything wrong and didn't do stuff good enough, and so forth. So if you have that part, I want to share with you some things on why there is so much resistance to rewiring that, and a few tips on how we can do that. Okay, so let's dive straight into this, because there's a lot to cover. But the negativity, I just want to point that out first, that negativity bias is actually a normal human thing. Like every human being on the planet has that. That helps us to protect ourselves, that keeps us safe. Okay, so if I go and walk in the bush, in the rainforest and things like that, if I go and walk in there, having that negativity bias, my brain scanning for danger, is actually a good thing. Okay, because I live in Australia and there's snakes everywhere. I want my brain to be fully alert and present and scan and alert me when there is something that looks like a snake. But it's not a helpful thing when I am out and enjoy a coffee with a friend. And my brain goes into those kind of places, or when I'm home by myself. Okay, so for us, that negativity bias, or for people who had a lot of childhood trauma, had a lot of trauma in their teenage years, in adult life, that negativity loop, that area of our brain is even more pronounced. It is like, you know how when cities go bigger and bigger, the roads, they keep adding another lane, you know, it goes from 2 lanes to 3 to 6 lanes. This is what our neuronal circuits look like. It's like a 6-way highway. It's like so built out. It's so efficient in that. It's so automatic. It does it with ease, right? We don't really have to put any effort into thinking about all this negative stuff. It just pops up just like that, one after the other. Is non-stop. Okay, I don't have to put in any energy. It just happens. It's so predictable too. If I wake up in the morning with a certain thought, I know how the day goes. Okay, it's so predictable. It's so built out. And do switch that. I have a challenge for you today. I invite you to look back at this year and find things that you cherished, moments that you cherished. Okay, and before you pause the video or click out, I will get to why there is so much resistance in doing that. Okay, I want to explain that to you too. But when I say cherish moments, I'm looking for the little moments. It doesn't have to be the big achievement. I'd say, oh wow, you finished your university degree, or you know, you've got this big promotion or this job. No, the little things. The big things are great as well. You can obviously note them down too. Like really get a piece of paper and write them down, the moments that you cherished. Okay, so the reason this is so difficult, okay, remember I said that negativity highway is like a 6-lane highway, fully built out, fully functioning. Now you're asking your brain to do something that it doesn't normally do, and this is like going off track. Now you're in the bush on this little trail walking, and you know, sometimes, you know, oh, is it this way or that way? There's no signage, the GPS doesn't work, you know, there's all this uncertainty. You feel a little bit lost. You have to put in a lot of energy. It isn't that automatic. Okay, You have to put in energy and think about it. And our brain doesn't like to do that. Our body doesn't like to do that. We're all about conserving energy, especially our brain. Always want to go back to the easy. Okay, so when you're off and you're trying to think about something that you cherish, your brain is like, oh man, this is hard work. And before you know it, you're back on that track. It's like, oh, see, you're a loser. You can't even do that simple exercise. And so you're back on this highway. So much easier, okay? It's so much more predictable. Your brain can come up with lots of things right away. Okay? I want you to be really aware of, even before we venture out, and not even just for this exercise, this is a nice one to start, but for anything in life that you start new, to really know, okay, this is going to take some extra energy. You're predicting this, okay, this is going to be a little bit hard. But I also know from neuroscience that when they do the brain scans on people, they can tell within about 30 days that there's changes in the neurons, the way they connect and the pathways. And it takes about 90 days before this new habit, this new thing that you're doing becomes more automatic. And it also almost becomes your new default. Okay? So with every time you get yourself out and think, in our instant, instead of rehashing the old negative things, the things that went wrong, trying to look for something that you cherish, every time you go out there, you're building that pathway, you're building that road, you're adding to this, and it becomes stronger and stronger. Yes, there's a little bit of effort involved, but it does. This is how we build new neuronal pathways. And here's one more thing, because so many, I know, I can already hear you say, but I can't think of anything, nothing comes to mind that I cherish, okay, or that was beautiful, there's some nice memories. There was nothing there this year. If that is you, then the year is not over. Then create an experience today for yourself that you will cherish. Do something special today. And while you're in that moment doing that, your brain works by association, always. While you're in there and you're feeling in that, you're feeling good, or you're having some joy, or whatever it is, if you want to create an experience where you have some laughter and you watch something funny, while you're in that moment, your brain comes up with all the memories in your life where you felt similar. You see that? This is how it builds that highway. When you're in your negative loop, when you're thinking about, oh, I just stuffed this up, instantly your brain comes up with all the memories in your life when you stuffed up, and you did this wrong and this didn't go right. It just keeps adding, it building up, but it does the same on the other side, on the positive. Okay, so the more we're going there, the more we're building out that highway. And then you can add, as you get better and finding things in your life that were beautiful, that you cherish and that you like, then you can add more to it. So, oh, now I want to create experiences where I feel confident. Okay, now your brain has things to draw from, because you just done this exercise, this practice, and you learned how to build new neuronal circuits, and you get this sense of, oh, I actually can do things. I'm a capable person. I have a sense of agency there. And you can build, and you can keep putting layers and layers on that. Okay, so that is, it sounds very basic, but I do know that from my own experience, it takes a lot of self-discipline, I guess, and determination, and that sense also that I am worthy for a better future. Okay, that's another block that many of us bump into, is like, there's the resistance from our brain trying to do something new, that it has to invest more energy and more focus and more attention, and it doesn't like doing that. But there's also that sense that we perhaps don't feel good enough yet to have such experience. Who am I to feel better? And all these kind of things, we keep pumping into those kind of walls as well. Yeah, I want to share one more thing, because I don't know where you're at on your healing journey, whether you've already done those kind of things, and I want to share with you what I'm working on right now for myself. Okay, I'm work in progress too, and I actually believe, I don't really see it as the healing journey or the self-development journey or the inner growth journey. This is a lifelong journey. I truly believe that it's what we are here for on this planet, to just keep growing. So for myself, I've taken this on, that I'm trying at the moment to any really mundane things that I do around the house to make this a richer experience. Okay, doesn't matter what this is, whether this is wiping the table or sweeping the floor, or anything that I really don't enjoy much, that I try to delay and avoid. Okay, I have a few of those things, but I'm trying to pause there and set an intention for that activity and be fully present with it. Okay, so before we talked about how we're trying to create moments in our life where we get ourselves out from rehashing the negative into finding the positive. So it's still about looking into the past a lot. But what I'm focusing on right now is how can I be more present in the here and now? How can I be fully absorbed in a moment? There's something like sweeping the floor, okay, or doing the dishes. You know, doing the dishes is my thing at the end of the night. Before I go to bed, I do the dishes, and this is my winding down activity. It's like I wash everything off for today and I set myself up for a fresh start tomorrow. That's my little ritual. And I put a lot of thought and a lot of intention into that, being really fully present there. So that's just something slightly different, but it's still on the same kind of wavelengths to rewire our brain, to rewire how we're focusing and actually building that muscle. I believe it's like a muscle, that refocusing, getting ourselves out of this highway, out of this loop, you know, catching yourself the minute your brain throws up, oh, you're just not good enough. You should. Any sentence that pops out into your mind that has a should in it, you know you're on this 6-lane highway of negativity. Okay, you caught yourself. It's like, oh, okay, I'm there again. I'm in that loop again. Let me get out. Let me put a little bit more energy into that and allow myself to have a better experience there. Okay, so I think that's enough for today. But please let me know in the comments, what are you doing there? What are some moments that you cherished in your last year? Or what kind of moment are you creating for yourself today? Right? That's a challenge. Create something today for yourself that you will really, a beautiful memory that you can look back to. Yeah, let me know what you're working on. I'm always curious there. But as always, in the meantime, I'm sending you lots and lots of love and rainbows to brighten up the tough times just a little. See ya. Bye.